गुणाधिपतिम् भवभीरुजाने सततं वरदं प्रणमामि गुरुं शिवकल्पतरुं प्रणमामि गुरुं शिवकल्पतरुम्।
जय गुरु। श्री गुरु परमहंस तनुच्युति शुद्ध सत्व मरते कात मधु माधुरी धरी वरनाति सुषमा सुभाषति शिरीषमा नयने करुणा रहिछि भरि नयने करुणा रहिछि भरि श्री गुरु तनुसूचि शुद्ध सत्व मरते विकास मधु माधुरी धरी वरनाति सुषमा सुभाषति शिरीषमा नयने करुणाधर रहिछि भरि गुरुदेव जय हे जय नाम सुमरणे हुए कलुष क्षय गुरुदेव जय हे जय नाम सुमरणे हुए कलुष क्षय जगत जगाइला प्रेम गीति सुनाइला व्रत तव गुरुदेव जीव उद्धार जगत जगाइला प्रेम गीति सुनाइला व्रत तव गुरुदेव जीव उद्धार परामुक्ति लाभ हेतु रचिल साधन सेतु शंकर गौरांग प्रेम समन्वयर परामुक्ति लाभ हेतु रचिल साधन सेतु शंकर गौरांग प्रेम समन्वयर गुरुदेव जय हे जय भक्त रस जने जने दिया सब पद सुधारा पान करी भक्तरा अवर दुख जंजाल हुआई दूर सब पद सुधारा पान करी भक्तरा भवर दुख जंजाल सकल संतान मिली करे घेनी पुष्पांजलि प्रणति जनाऊ पद नभ पयन सकल संतान मिली करे घेनी पुष्पांजलि प्रणति जनाई पूजु तब पयन गुरुदेव जय हे जय पद सेवा अधिकार दिया हे दिया गुरुदेव जय हे जय पद सेवा अधिकार दिया हे दिया जय
जय गुरु निगम उपदेश भाई इनिशिएशन पढ़ाई से प्रिंसिपल ऑफ हार्मोनी रो आरंभ करियो क्वेश्चन भाई विषय भाई प्रिंसिपल ऑफ हार्मोनी there is no doubt of people with bookish knowledge can they remove the darkness of ignorance of the world. May your mind be enlightened with the radiance of knowledge which dispels that ignorance. Not many, but at least a few of you develop yearning for that knowledge. Bookish knowledge cannot wipe out the sorrows and suffering of the world. Knowledge is the rare and precious possession of one's within. There is no harm if one forgets the external world in order to attain it. Many knowledge will generate conflict and confusion in you. Attainment of true knowledge will elevate you to that lofty plane from where you can see everyone equally. Since you do not have the knowledge of that ultimate plane, you fail to overcome mutual discrimination and reach the state of absolute harmony. Don't lose hope. The only goal of life is to attain that supreme knowledge. In other words, realize that the principle of harmony of the universe with me. Last but not least, acquire knowledge like Shankaracharya, but the essence of this knowledge lies in the strength of mind, vitality and courage. If these divine qualities wane and desiccate after gaining knowledge, life will be valueless. I bless, may you acquire the knowledge of Shankaracharya and possess the heart of Gauranga Deva. Jai Guru.
जय गुरु मिलाचल सरस्वत संघ पुरी अमेरिका सारस्वत संघ 725तम संघाधिवेशन विवरणी तारीख 12 जुलाई 2020 समय पूर्वाह्न 7:15 ରୁ 11:45 ईस्टर्न टाइम पालिया ऐसी और वेदमती माँ उपस्थान उपस्थित भक्त मानकर नाम आमसास वेबसाइट रे पाइबे। अभ्यास पूजा 11 जुलाई 2020 संध्या 7टारे निगम स्मृति मंदिर रे स्थानीय भाई माँ और पिलामानंक उपस्थिति रे अनुष्ठित होइतिला। प्रथम अधिवेशन विवरण रविवार सकाळ 7:15 ରୁ 8:45 ईस्टर्न टाइम सकाळ 7:15 समय रे निहार भाई ଥରେ ସେ ଦେବ ଦେଖା ପାଇବିରେ ଓ ଶୁଭେନ୍ଦୁ ଭାଇ ଅରୁଣ ରଥରେ ବିଜେ କରହେ ଜଣାଏ ପଦେ ଯୋଡ଼ି କରହେ ପ୍ରତୀକ୍ଷା ଗାନ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏହି ସମୟରେ ଅନ୍ୟ ଭାଇ ଓ ମା ମାନେ ଟେଲିଫୋନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଓ ନିଗମ ସ୍ମୃତି ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ ଭାଇ ଓ ମା ମାନେ ନାଟ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେଇଥିଲେ। ନିଗମ ସ୍ମୃତି ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଭକ୍ତମାନଙ୍କର ମିଳିତ ଆରତୀ ଗାନ ସହିତ ସାନଜିତ ଭାଇ ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପ୍ରଭାତୀ ଆରତୀ କରିଥିଲେ। ଆରତୀ ପରେ ବୃନ୍ଦାବନ ଭାଇଙ୍କ ନେତୃତ୍ୱରେ ବନ୍ଦଇ ଗୁରୁଚରଣ ଗାନ କରାଯାଇ ସୂତ୍ର ବନ୍ଦନା କରାଯାଇଥିଲା। ତାପରେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭାଇ ପରିରାପତ୍ର ସମ୍ମିଳନୀ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଓ ଆସନ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ନିତ୍ୟ ସେବା ପୂଜା ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ପାଠ କରାଇଥିଲେ। ତତ୍ପରେ ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ ଭାଇ ସଂଘ ସେବକ ଷୋଡ଼ଶ ଭାଗ ଚତୁର୍ଥ ସଂଖ୍ୟାରୁ ବନ୍ଦନା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଓ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନାକାରୀଙ୍କ ପ୍ରତି ପାଠ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏଥିରେ ପଢ଼ାଯାଇଥିଲା ଯେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଯୋଗ ସମ୍ପନ୍ନ ସାଧୁ ମହାପୁରୁଷମାନେ ସଦା ଗିରିଶ ଗିରିଜାପତି ବିଶ୍ୱେଶ୍ୱର ଶ୍ରୀ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ଚରଣ କମଳ ଚିନ୍ତନ କରନ୍ତି। ତାଙ୍କ ଚରଣ ଚିନ୍ତନ ହିଁ ଜ୍ଞାନ, ତାଙ୍କ ସେବା ହିଁ ଅବଲମ୍ବନ। ଜ୍ଞାନ ଲାଭ ପାଇଁ ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ। ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧାବାନ ଲଭତେ ଜ୍ଞାନ। ତାଙ୍କ ନାମ ଓ ବାକ୍ୟ ଉପରେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ହିଁ ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା। ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧାରୁ ଜ୍ଞାନ, ଜ୍ଞାନରୁ ଭକ୍ତି ଓ ଭକ୍ତିରୁ ଭଗବତ ସ୍ୱରୂପ ପ୍ରାପ୍ତି। ଏହାପରେ ଅଶ୍ୱିନୀ ଭାଇ ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଗୁରୁ ଗୀତା ଶ୍ଲୋକ 111 ପାଠ କରିଥିଲେ। ତାପରେ ବେଦମତୀ ମା ବାଲ୍ୟଭୋଗ ଓ ପରପୂଜା ପାଇଁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରିବା ପରେ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ନାମ କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ ଓ ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରଣାମ କରି ଆସନ ବନ୍ଦ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା ଏବଂ ବାଲ୍ୟଭୋଗ ନିବେଦନ ପରେ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ ଭକ୍ତ ପ୍ରସାଦ ସେବନ କରିଥିଲେ। ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ ଅଧିବେଶନର ବିବରଣୀ। ରବିବାର ସକାଳ 9:45ରୁ 11:45 ଇଷ୍ଟର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଟାଇମ୍। ଅର୍ପିତା ମା ଦିବସ ନିଶି ଯେତେ ଖୋଜି ହେଲି ଓ ଅଞ୍ଜଳି ମା ଶରଣ ମନାସି ତାଙ୍କର ହେ ଆଜି ଭକତ ଡାକଇ ଆକୁଳ ସୁରେ ଆବାହନୀ ସଙ୍ଗୀତମାନ ଗାନ କରିବା ସମୟରେ ଅନ୍ୟ ଭାଇ ଓ ମା ମାନେ ଟେଲିଫୋନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଓ ନିଗମ ସ୍ମୃତି ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ ଭାଇ ଓ ମା ମାନେ ନାଟ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଯୋଗ ଦେଇଥିଲେ। ଭଗବନ୍ଧନ ମୋଚନ ଗାନ ପରେ ପରଦା ଉନ୍ମୋଚନ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା। ବୃନ୍ଦାବନ ଭାଇ ଗୁରୁ ନାରାୟଣ ଘେନ ବନ୍ଦନ ଅଗତି ଗତି କାରଣ ବନ୍ଦନା ଗାନ କରିବା ପରେ ପୃଥ୍ୱୀରାଜ ଭାଇ ନିଗମ ଉପଦେଶ ପେଜ 4 ବ୍ଲେସିଂ ଅନ୍ ଦ ଡେ ଅଫ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ତୃତୀୟା ପାଠ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏଥିରେ ଠାକୁର ଆମକୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଇଚ୍ଛା ପୂରଣରେ ସହାୟକ ହେବାକୁ ଉପଦେଶ ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଆମକୁ ପ୍ରକୃତ ମନୁଷ୍ୟ ହେବାକୁ ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ତାପରେ ପଦ୍ମାମା ପୂର୍ବ ଅଧିବେଶନର ବିବରଣୀ ପାଠ କରିଥିଲେ। ତାପରେ ବିଶ୍ୱରଞ୍ଜନ ଭାଇ ପ୍ରେମିକ ଗୁରୁ ପେଜ 136ରୁ 140 ଶାକ୍ତ ଓ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ ପ୍ରସଙ୍ଗରେ ସାଧନାର ସ୍ତର ବିଶେଷରେ କିପରି ଶାକ୍ତ ଓ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ ଆଖ୍ୟାୟିତ ହୁଅନ୍ତି ତାହା ପାଠ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏହାପରେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭାଇ ଶାକ୍ତ ଓ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ ପ୍ରସଙ୍ଗଟି କିଞ୍ଚିତ ଆଲୋଚନା କରି ଦାଓ ବୋଲେ ଦାଓ ପ୍ରାଣେର ଠାକୁର ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ସଙ୍ଗୀତ ଗାନ କଲାପରେ ଉଚିତାମା ସଂସାର ପଥେ ପାର୍ଟ 1 ପାଠ କରିଥିଲେ। ତାପରେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭାଇ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନୋତ୍ତର ଆଲୋଚନା କଲାପରେ ୱାଇ ସେସନ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୋଇଥିଲା। ଅଦିତି ଅତଳ ସାଗରେ ବୁଡ଼ି ଯାଉଥିଲି ତୁମେ ତ ନେଇଛ କୁଳାଇ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଗାନ କଲାପରେ ପ୍ରତିମା ଉପସ୍ଥାନ ନେଇ ୟଙ୍ଗ ଏକ୍ସପେରେନ୍ସେସନ ପରିଚାଳନା କରିଥିଲେ। ତତ୍ପରେ ପାଳିଆ ଐଶୀ ଓ ବେଦମତୀ ମା ଯଥାକ୍ରମେ ଭାବ ବିନିମୟ କରିଥିଲେ। ବେଦମତୀ ମା ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ଭୋଗ ଓ ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ପୂଜା ପାଇଁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କଲା ପରେ ଯଥାକ୍ରମେ ଭକ୍ତି ଅରୁମା ଓ ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ ବେହେରା ଭାଇ ଆସନ୍ତା ସଂଘ ପୂଜା 7/19 ପାଇଁ ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଭକ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ଓ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରିଥିଲେ। ବେଦମତୀ ମା ପାଳି ସେବା ଓ ଅନ୍ୟାନ୍ୟ ସେବାନିରତ ଭାଇ ମା ଓ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କ ତରଫରୁ ଜ୍ଞାତ ଅଜ୍ଞାତକୃତ ସମସ୍ତ ଦୋଷ ତ୍ରୁଟି ପାଇଁ ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଭକ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ଓ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ କ୍ଷମା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରିଥିଲେ। ପରିଶେଷରେ ଉଦିତା ମାଙ୍କ ନେତୃତ୍ୱରେ ଦେବ ଦୁର୍ଲଭ ସବ ଚରଣ ଯୁଗଳ ବିଦାୟ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଗାନ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା। ଏହାପରେ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ନାମ କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ ପ୍ରଣାମ ଓ ଆସନ ବନ୍ଦ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା। ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭାଇ ସଂଘସେବୀମାନଙ୍କର ଉପସ୍ଥାନ ନେଇଥିଲେ। ତତ୍ପରେ ଭାଇ ମା ଓ ପିଲାମାନେ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ପ୍ରେମ ସମ୍ଭାଷଣ କରି ବିଦାୟ ନେଇଥିଲେ। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ଭୋଗ ନିବେଦନ ହେଲା ପରେ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ ଭକ୍ତ ପ୍ରସାଦ ସେବନ କରିଥିଲେ। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ଚରଣାଶ୍ରିତ ଐଶୀ ଓ ବେଦମତୀ ମା। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
Jayaguru. Premiko Guru, we are continuing the chapter Sakta and Vaishnava, page 139. The loss for material ambition is begotten from karma, that is lost. Sita quote Amra Bhagavad Gita. Dhayato visayan purisaha sangastesu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama krodho vijayate. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 62. So Kama eclipses man's jnana or self of Atma within. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has said, Abrutam jnanam itena jnanino nitya vairina kama rupena pantheya duskurena narayana cha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 39. Just as fire is covered with smoke, mirror with dust, womb is with vitriol, similarly, O Kampeya, Jnana is ever clouded by unfulfilled fire of Kama, the perpetual enemy of Jnanis. Hence, the self of Atma manifests as soon as Kama is suppressed, that is, Kama is annihilated. The one attains divine bliss. The sadhana of Satya, Premarasa, also brings about the control of Kama. Where does lie the greatest attraction of Kama? To answer this question, it must be said that the greatest attraction of Kama lies in woman. The scripture enunciates, Sri Sangha Jayate Punsang, Sutta Garadi Sangamaha, Jatha Bijakurad Bhuksho Jayate Phalapatrava, Purana Vachana. Just as a seed on germination grows to a tree laden with leaves and fruit, similarly the company of woman produces in man worldly attachment for son, wife, house, etc., material possessions. If you would track the footnote dictionary, the complex topics like these, the cause of worldly attachment, the desire for union of man and woman and its purpose, the conquest of sensual passion, the methods to undo the attraction of Prakriti, etc., are discussed in detail in my book, Jnani Guru. So these subjects are not repeated here. Because a woman is nature's form, nature, and Maya's alluring power. If this power of woman is united with the power of Atma, that power is assimilated with Atma and Jiva, attains perfection. The desire for enjoyment of pleasure is present in woman. The Pancha Mahakara Sadhana, that is the fivefold Mahakara Sadhana, or Kulachara Paddhati, that is the method of Kulachara, of Tantra and Rasa Sadhana of devotees like Chandidasa are meant for quenching the desire. The Pancha Mahakara Sadhana and the Kulachara Paddhati are delineated in my book, Tantriya Guru. Hence, Rasa Sadhana is here the topic of discussion. The sadhaka desirous of Prema Rasa has to first obtain the grace of Ragamatva Desi, that is the ardent in showing the path of Raga, Premika Guru, and become initiated by him of Rasa Tattva, that is Radha Krishna's Jivkala Mantra, Kama Bija, Kling, and Kama Gayatri, that is Kama Devaya, Vidami, Pushpabanaya, Dhimahi, Parinangaha, Prachodaya. In the manner prescribed in the Agama scripture. Because in Kali Yuga, it is mandatory for sadhaka to be initiated according to the Tantra scripture and accomplish sadhana according to it. Agamat vidhanena kalu mantram japet suddhihi nahi devaha prasiddhanti kalu channa vidhanatah. The wise people in Kali Yuga should perform mantra japa according to the principle of Tantra. Because the God in this Kali Yuga do not lavish grace through any other mantra. This Kama Bija and Kama Gayatri are Radha Krishna's Jivkala Mantra as prescribed in the Agama Shastra. The sadhaka seeking Rasa Madhurya are only worthy of this mantra, that is Kama Mantra, is the basic Bija, that is seed mantra for collective bliss or total bliss. Hence, Kama Bija and Kama Gayatri are as such Maha Mantra for attaining Madhurya Rasa through Brajavara. The natural sensual passion is annihilated and the total bliss is attained by this mantra, perform the bhajana Kama Bija with Gayatri mantra, thus realize Radha Krishna in Rasa Mandala, sings Shastra, that is bhajana Nirnaya. Sri Krishna himself is sadhaka, or the practitioner, of Kama Bija, and Srimati Radhika is the sadhya that is to be realized. Okay. Thus, Sri Radha is its Visaya, that is subject, and Sri Krishna is the Ashraya, that is anchor. Hence, Radha Krishna combined in Kama Bija and Sakhis are Gayatri. Radha Krishna is Kama Bija and Sakhi is Gayatri. So Gayatri is Bija as in mythology. Bhajan Lila. Sri Guru offers Kama Bija and Kama Gayatri mantra opens the door to the path of rasa before devotees' desires of Madhurya Tattva. Sri Gurudev delineates various aspects of bhajana like manjari and sakhis, and employs devotees in secret sadhana of Braja. Then a sadhaka directly performs the seva of Sri Krishna like Sri Rupamanjari and others in Brajaluka, and senses turned inward and mental body absorbed in divine thought. Siddha Brajaluka is Nitya Vrindavana, that is eternal Vrindavana. Brahma Samhita depicts Nitya Vrindavana thus. Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpadam Tatkarnikarang Tadhama Tadanantan Tasambhavam Karnikarang Mahadjantrang Satkonang Brajakilakam Prajyola Prabhayajiktam Kamabija Samanvitam Sarangasa Padisthavi Prakrutya Purusena Cha Premananda Mahananda Rasena Vastitan Hija Jyoti Rupena Manuna Kamabijena Sangatan Tat Kanjalikam Tadangsanang Tat Patrani Sriyamati Brahma Sangha. The great abode of Lord Sri Krishna is Gokula. It is like a 1,000-petal lotus. In this lotus, the Kesar, that is the central filament, emerging as a part of Ananta Deva is called Gokula. The Karnika, that is the central filament or the seed vessel of lotus signifying Gokula is the great jantra, that is the diagram of hexagonal shape. It is Brajakalika, that is like an extremely resplendent diamond peg and is endowed with Kamabija. It is surrounded by Saptadi, that is the 6-versed Mahamantra, Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijanna Vallabhaya Swaha, at 6 corners. Prakriti Purusa, that is Radha Krishna, enact eternal rasa, vihara on the surface of this karnika of the lotus. This Chiddhama, that is the rasa mandala, established in complete bliss, is ever luminous and endowed with Kamabija Mahamantra. 8 Sakhis are present on 8 petals, and innumerable gopis are present on pollen grains and kesara of this lotus. Here Sri Krishna, the greatest lover and Rasa Bihari, is enacting eternal Leela with his own supreme Radhini Shakti, Sri Radha. In this transnatural Vrindavan, Sri Krishna, the divine embodiment of Madana, that is the God of love, has to be worshipped with Kama Bija and Kama Gayatri mantra. In Vrindavana, the divine and ever new Madana is worshipped with Kama Bija and Kama Gayatri mantra. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This unique Kandarpa, that is the Lord God of love, Sri Vrindavan, is the primordial cause of Kandarpa in entirety. That is the whole of kama, that is the desire for love, is created, maintained, and dissolved by the supreme kama. The transcendental kama enacts blissful prema, that is Lila Vilasa, with Sri Radha, the Hladini Shakti. He is indeed Manmat of Manmat, that is the god of love. That is Madana of the god Madana. In fact, to acquire the eligibility to serve Radha Krishna as a Sakhi is termed Sadhya Sadhana. Without Sakhi Bhava to this Leela, there is no access. With Sakhi Bhava, service to him only takes place. To serve Radha Krishna in power is thus sustained. In no other way it is ever attained. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thus only with Sakhi Bhava, one acquires eligibility to serve in the power. The secret Leela of Radha Krishna is revealed by Sakhi's necessary eligibility to serve them both in thus acquired. Then, by the instruction of Sri Gurudeva, a sadhaka has to enter into the bhava of any Sakhi from among all Sakhis and eternally serve Radha Madhava with the bhava of the Sakhi. The sole happiness of Sakhis lies in the bliss of seva of Radha Krishna. Prior to Braja Leela, Sri Krishna was the Visa, that is subject of love, based on Ujjvala Rasa, and Sri Radha is the Ashraya, that is Sri Radha is Ashraya, that is anchor. Jiva had also the experience of this Leela within. God manifested himself in human form to enable man to experience the bliss of such Leela. It is the sacred duty of man to assume Gopi Bhava and experience the bliss of union of Radha Krishna. You may speak of bliss of union of Sri Krishna and Sri Radha, or of Hara and Parvati of the Tantrics. All these are indeed suggestive of union between Jivatma and Paramatma. However, the difference lies in the form of expression, subtle but more subtle, subtle, more subtle, and the more subtle. The Sringara Lila, based on the love of Sri Radha and Sri Krishna, transcending Prakriti, is eternal and unlimited. But natural and dirty sport of Kama, of Rati and Kandharpa is limited and temporal. Although both Prakrita, and that is natural, and Aprakrita, that is transnatural, Leelas are extrinsically and intrinsically present in every earthly man and woman, but they are not able to realize transcendental Nitya Leela. They are only captivated by the temporal Prakrita Leela. Just as Braja Gopis, being engrossed in eternal Sringara Leela of Sri Krishna, the greatest of Kandharpa, to forget Prakrita and temporal Kama Leela of Kandharpa. Similarly, Prakrita men and women also forget eternal Sringara Leela, being intensely engaged in temporal sport of Kama. If these men and women drowned in the Prakrita sport of Kama, take care to hear from saints and scriptures about Sringara Leela like Rasa, etc. of Sri Radha Krishna, and endeavor sincerely to attain it, they, by the grace of Radha Krishna, will attain devotion characteristic of gopis. Thus, they can easily emancipate themselves from the clutches of the sport of Prakrita Kandharpa, and consequently they would be fortunate for acquiring eligibility to attain the self of gopis as well as realizing rasa and the eternal Sringara Leela of Sri Krishna. So sadhakas should serve Sri Radha Krishna as Sakhis in this power of Vrindavan of their own hand. They, like their own cherished Nitya Sakhis, had to serve the holy feet of Sri Radha Krishna with mental body by swaying chowis, making garland, preparing the bed, and bringing the union based on Sringara Rasa. they have to always perform their seva and paicharya, that is worship. They have to accomplish leelas, etc., emulating Braja leelas every day according to the month and tithi, that is the calendar days. This seva has to be performed not only in mind but also by endeavor of both mind and senses by dint of devotion, emulating Gopi Bhav. For this reason, the devotees who have attained the grace of Gurudeva would serve both Sri Radha and Krishna, emulating the bhava and endeavor of gopis. While performing such sadhana, the mental siddha deha of the sadhaka is gradually flourished. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. ଆଜି ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱ କଥା କଥା ହେଲା, ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କରିବା। ପ୍ରଥମ ଜିନିଷଟା ହେଲା ଆଜି ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ଶାକ୍ତ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ କଥା ଆର୍ଥକ ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କରିଥିଲେ, ପଢ଼ିଥିଲେ ଠାରୁ ଯେ ରସତତ୍ତ୍ୱଟା ହେଉଛି ଆଗ କହିଛନ୍ତି, ତାର ସାଧ୍ୟ ସାଧନା ତାର ସାଧନାଟା ରସତତ୍ତ୍ୱ ହେଉଛି ରାଧାକୃଷ୍ଣ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱଟା ହେଲା ରସତତ୍ତ୍ୱ। ତାକୁ ସାଧନା କରିବାଟା ହେଲା ସାଧ୍ୟ ସାଧନା କଲେ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ସିଦ୍ଧି ହେବ। ପ୍ରଥମେ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ପ୍ରଥମ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରନ୍ତି ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଠାକୁର କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଶାକ୍ତ, ମାନେ ପରେ ପରେ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଏଇ ସାଧକ ମାନେ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେବେ ଶାକ୍ତ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ସିଦ୍ଧ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼େ କାମନା ୱାର୍ଡ ଗୋଟେ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି, ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ତାର ଡେଫିନେସନ୍ ଟିକେ ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। ଆମର ଜୀବ ଦେହ କରି ଏଠି ଜନ୍ମ ହେଇଛେ, ଗୋଟାଏ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା ଆମକୁ ଆମର ଯେଉଁ ସ୍ୱରୂପ ଜ୍ଞାନଟା ଯେ ଆମେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଙ୍କର କିଛି ନାହିଁକି ଆସିଛୁ, ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ ଏଇ କାମନାଟାକୁ ଆମେ ବାଛନ କରି ରଖିଛୁ, ତାପରେ ଆମେ ଜାଣିପାରୁ। ତେଣୁ ସେଠୁ ଠାକୁର ଗୀତାର ଗୋଟେ ଶ୍ଲୋକ ଉଦ୍ଧାର କରିକି ଫୁଟନୋଟରେ ଲିଖିଛନ୍ତି, ଧାୟତ୍ୱ ବିଷୟାନ ପୁରୁଷ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାୟତେ ଜାୟତେ କାମ କାମନା କ୍ରୋଧ ବି ଜାୟତେ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ଧ୍ୟାୟତେ ଧ୍ୟାନ କଲା ତାହା ଦିନ ବିଷୟ ମାନେ ମୋର ଏଇଟା ଦରକାର, ମୋର ସେଇଟା ଦରକାର, ମୋର ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଦରକାର, ପିଲା ଦି ତିନିଟା ଦରକାର, ବଡ଼ ଘରଟା ଦରକାର, କାର ଦିଟା ଦରକାର, ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି। ସେଇଗୁଡ଼ା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଚିନ୍ତା ସବୁବେଳେ କରିବା, ସେଇ ବିଷୟ ଚିନ୍ତାରୁ ଆସକ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍, ସଂଘାତ ଆସକ୍ତି ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟାୟତେ କାମ। ସେ ଯେଉଁ ଆସକ୍ତିଟା ହୁଏ ବିଷୟ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଛୁ, ସେଇ ଆସକ୍ତିରୁ କାମନା ଜାତ। ଗୋଟାଏ ହେଲା ବିଷୟ ପ୍ରତି ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍, we are attached to something, and then ସେଇ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍ରୁ କାମନା, I want this, I want that, etc. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ କାମନାଟା ଯେଉଁଟା ଆମେ କରିଛେ ସେଇଟା ଆମକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ନ ମିଳିବ, so we have anger, କ୍ରୋଧ। ଯେତେବେଳେ କାମ କ୍ରୋଧ ବି ଯାଏ, ଯେତେବେଳେ କାମନାଟା ପୂରଣ ନହେଲା ସେଠୁ ଆମର ରାଗିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଇଗଲା। ଆମର ସ୍ୱରୂପରେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଇଟା ଦେଇନାହାନ୍ତି, ଦୁଇଟା ମିଶିକିରି ଅଛି। କ୍ରୋଧା ଭବତି ସମୂହ ସମୂହା ସ୍ମୃତି ବିଭ୍ରମ, ସ୍ମୃତି ଭଂସା ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଶ ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଶ କୌଣସି। କ୍ରୋଧା ଭବତି ସମୂହ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ରାଗ ବେଶୀ ହେଇଗଲା କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ଆମର ମାନେ ମୋହ ହେଇଯାଏ, ଆଉ ବିଚାର କରିବାକୁ କ୍ଷମତା ରହେ। ମୋହ ବିଚାର କରିବାକୁ କ୍ଷମତା ରହେ। ମୋହ ରୂପରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ସ୍ମୃତି ବିଭ୍ରମ, ସ୍ମୃତି ଭଂସା ବିଭ୍ରମ। ବିଭ୍ରମଟା କାହିଁ ହେଲା, ଆମ ଯେଉଁ ଜିନିଷଟା ମନେ ରଖିଥିଲେ, କ'ଣ ମନେ ରଖିଥିଲେ ନା ଆମେ ହଉଛୁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ବିଚ୍ଛିନ୍ନ ହେଇକି ଆସିଛୁ, ଏଠି ମାୟା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆବୃତ ହେଇଛୁ, ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି। ସେ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମର ଆଉ ରହେ ନାହିଁ, ସ୍ମୃତିରେ ରହେନି ସେଇଟା। ତାପରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଶ, ଯେଉଁ ବୁଦ୍ଧିଟା ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରେ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲେକ୍ଟ ଆମର, ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିକି ହବ ଯେ ସେଇ ଜିନିଷ ସେଇଠୁ ଆମେ ଆସିଛୁ। ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ଜିନିଷ ପ୍ରତି ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍ ଆମର ଅଛି ଏଗୁଡ଼ା କିଛି ନୁହଁ, ସେ ଜିନିଷଟା ସେଇଠୁ ଆସିଛୁ, ସେଇଟା ଆଉ ରହେ। ତାଫଳରେ ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଶ ସ୍ମୃତି, ଯେତେବେଳେ ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଶ ହେଇଗଲା ସେତେବେଳେ ମୃତ ପ୍ରତି ଶେଷ ହେଇଗଲା। ଭିତରେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ଥିଲେ ବି ସେଇ ବ୍ରହ୍ମବୋଧଟା ତାର ରହିବ। ତେଣୁ ଏଇଟା ହେଉଛି କାମନାର ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍। आरंभ हेले जो षड़ ऋतु अच्छी जोटा माड़ी कर तेणु तार इटा गोटे डाक्तर उद्धार कर ज्ञान ज्ञानी ना देवधिना काम रूपेण कमती नलेमती निआ को धूआ घोड़ी रखी थाए जमी गोटे मिरर मଳି नथिले आम मुहटा देखा जाए ना से भाया जे ज्ञानी मान चिरशक्ति वाला काम ये कामना दमन न कले आगू जाई हम तेणु तेणु ठाकुर सीटा को ये कर कथा कामनाटार कामनार मूलटा कामनार मूलटा एक्चुअली ये our thinking of copulating with opposite sex is basically where that thing starts. And then you add lot of other things to it. So that is where the kamana is. कहते जमी सी गोटे बीज भाया मैंने गोटे सीड भाया सीडटा को लगे धीरे 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 फल पुष्प है then other things get layered into it and added to it, and that whole thinking is done. সেই ভিতରୁ সেটা কাইন্ড ওয়ে তাକୁ କେମିତି ଜୟ କରିବାକୁ ସବୁ ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ଗୁରୁ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି talk about that if somebody has any questions or question on the side time is your next couple of minutes of finish it up ତେଣୁ ଏଠି କହୁଛନ୍ତି କ'ଣ ଯେ ଭକ୍ତି ଯୋଉ ମାର୍ଗଟା ହେଲା ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମକୁ ସ୍ମୃତି ଭଂସା ବୁଦ୍ଧିନାଥ ଗଣସ୍ପତି ବୋଲି କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଗୀତାରେ ସୁନ୍ଦର କରିଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାକୁ କେମିତି ଆଣିକିରି ଆମେ ତାଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଯୁକ୍ତ କରିବା ତାହେଲେ ଆମର ସେ ଜ୍ଞାନଟା ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଭାବରେ ରହିବ ତାର ସ୍ମୃତି ଜିନିଷଟି ହେଲା ସେଇ ଯୋଉ କାମନାଟା ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନଟା ଅଛି ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଆଟାଚମେଣ୍ଟଟା ରହୁଛି ସେଇଟା ବିଷୟ ପ୍ରତି ନ ରହୁଛି ତାଙ୍କ just retroactive then ସେଇ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନଟା ରହିବ କାହା ପ୍ରତି ରହିବ ନା ସେଇ ଇଏ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଚିନ୍ତା ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ବିଷୟ ଚିନ୍ତା ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ରହିବ ସେ ବିଷୟ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ କ'ଣ ନା ତାଙ୍କର କାମ ତାଙ୍କର ଜିନିଷ କରିବା ସେ ତ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କରିଦେଲେ ଦେନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଚେଞ୍ଜ ତାପରେ ଯାହା ବୁଝେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର ଆଗ ନିଗମ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରର ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ କହିଛନ୍ତି ଆଗ ନିଗମ ବେସିକାଲି ହେଲା ନିଗମ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରଟି ହେଲା ବେଦରୁ ଯୋଉ ଜ୍ଞାନଟା ଉତ୍ପନ୍ନ ହୁଏ ତାକୁ ନିଗମ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ବୋଲି କହନ୍ତି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ନାଁ ଦିଆଯାଇଥିଲା ଭଗବାନନ୍ଦ ବୋଲି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଦେଇଥିଲେ କାହିଁକିନା ସେ ବେଦ ବେଦାନ୍ତ ଯୋଉ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ଗୁଡ଼ାକ ସେଟା ବହୁତ ଜଲ୍ଦି ମାନେ ୱିନ୍ ୱିକ୍ସ ମନ୍ଥସ୍ ତାକୁ ବୁଝିଲେ କାହିଁକିନା ପ୍ରଥମେ ତ କେତେ ମାସ ଗଲା ଖାଲି ଘୋଡ଼ା ଚାଷ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କରିକି ଘୋଡ଼ା ଘାସ ଆଣିଲେ ଆଉ କ'ଣ କଲେ ଫିଜିକାଲ ତାଙ୍କର ଅଙ୍କଟା ଯିବା ଅଙ୍କ ଚାଲିଗଲା ତ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ପଢ଼ିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ର ପଢ଼ିଲେ ଫଟାଫଟ ହେଇଯାଉଛି ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କ ନାଁ ସେ ନିଗମ ଆଗମ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରଟା ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଉପରେ ଆଗମ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ଶକ୍ତି ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଯୋଉ ଆଗମ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରଟା ସେଟା ବାହାରିକି ତନ୍ତ୍ର ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ପ୍ରେମଟା ହେଉଛି ତନ୍ତ୍ରର ପ୍ରେମର ଆପ୍ଲିକେସନଟା ହେଉଛି ତେଣୁ ସେଟା ମିଶିକି ତାର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଶ୍ଲୋକ ଦେଇକି କେମିତି ଇଏଟା କରାଯାଏ ସେଟା ଦିଆହେଇଛି ତାପରେ ଆମର ଗୋପୀ ଦେହ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କଥା ଆଲୋଚନା କରିଥାନ୍ତି ତାର ନେକ୍ସଟ ୱିକ୍ କରିବା ଆମର ଟାଇମ୍ ହେଇଗଲାଣି ଏଠି ରଖିବା ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣାନୁଯାୟୀ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ସଙ୍ଗୀତ No, you're probably on mute. Can others hear me? So, I think somebody muted everybody. So, Bundan Bhai, if you are hearing, please do start star and unmute yourself.
भाई सेटा फास्ट सेशन ने मु करकली जय गुरु भाई आप सुनले
हां आगे सुना लगा
ओहो के म्यूट कर दीजिए जय गुरु प्रभु समकामनिया नाही
से चरण तल सते किरत कमल जहाँ से चरण तल सते किरत कमल उठी पाखुड़ा मेली उठी पाखुड़ा मेली से पद सिर लोटू थाऊ उठी पाखुड़ा मेली पदे सिर लोटू थाऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ प्रभु अंग गंध बास महकाए जाऊ पास प्रभु अंग गंध बास महकाए जाऊ पास मो मन भ्रमर आस मो मन भ्रमर आस आघाण रे मजिरा मो मन भ्रमर आस आघाण रे मजिरा प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ अनुपम रूप कांति अनुपम रूप कांति दिसे खेड़े दाऊ दाऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ तांकु गढ़ी केउ बिंधाणी केते दिवस जामिनी गढ़ी केउ बिंधाणी केते दिवस जामिनी आखि तारा लाखी जाए आखि तारा लाखी जाए आखि तारा लाखी जाए अरे मात्र चाहूं चाहूं आखि तारा लाखी जाए अरे मात्र चाहूं चाहूं प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ भक्तरंक निधिकी उदपद में बसंती की भक्तरंक निधिकी उदपद में बसंती की भक्तरंक निधिकी उदपद में बसंती की फुटंता कामना करी फुटंता कामना करी ए जीवन ताऊ ताऊ फुटंता कामना करी ए जीवन ताऊ ताऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ प्रभु सम कमनीय नाही आऊ बंधुची चरण देनी भक्ति पुष्पांजलि घेनी बंधुची चरण देनी भक्ति पुष्पांजलि घेनी निवेदुची पद तले আজি निवेदुची पद तले एना
Jai Guru. Jai Guru. Sansara Pathe, Part 1. Vai suna dalde?
हाँ भाई शुभते
Jai Guru. Sansara Pathe, Part 1, Chapter 10. Householders' Service towards Sri Gurudev. The love between a husband and wife can be impermanent, but the compassion of Guru towards a disciple is true love. The love of Sri Radha towards Sri Krishna, such emotion is only possible between Guru and his disciple. Like Leela, you all practice trying to find comfort in me. The day you understand me properly, you will feel the rise of unconditional love for me. Without the same level of emotion, it is impossible for true love to develop. Since I have assimilated with all of you and have become united with all, I have the feeling of unadulterated emotion. Leela also expresses the same kind of emotion, and I wish to experience the same from all devotees. When you are devoid of ignorance or able to find comfort in me like Leela does, then my wish will be fulfilled. I am unable to find anyone with whom I can freely share my feelings, and it pains me a lot. Being perpetually engaged in Gurugiri, being Guru or Guruship, I have been only elevated to the honorary position and separated from all of you. It is not my wish. Gurugiri is a title that is overbearing, and I am restless about how to break free. You all try to show some compassion towards me. Those who find comfort in me easily develop their heart, mind, and consciousness. But those who only fixate on rules and regulations fail to realize such development easily. Ashwini Babu received many invaluable experiences simply through his pure love for me. My Gurudev had instructed me not to express things that I cannot practically demonstrate and prove. When true compassion is expressed towards trees and plants, nature, even they come forward to the service of humans. I had experienced it once in my life. A saint loved a tree, and the tree would reciprocate. I observed one day that the saint came exhausted and tired and sat beneath the tree. Unexpectedly, all the branches of the tree bent down and fanned. I was astonished that there was no outside breeze at that time. It wasn't the case that this saint had attained self-realization. He was just residing beneath the tree. It is important to note that deep compassion, when directed towards an inanimate object, could result in the object exhibiting kinetic energy. Therefore, you must love your Sri Gurudev with Sahaja Bhava. You will experience everything within him. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Any question or anything we break today or anything else? Let's add our discussions with those. I guess we don't have any questions, so we'll have 10 minutes. We will do something. Yeah.
भाई अपन जो कोटले कामों से कोटले माने एक्चुअली इच्छा और कामना माने इज इट लाइक सेम और ऑलमोस्ट सेम और नेगेटिव डिफरेंस माने अच्छी
difference basically how you activate those things. Ichhata hoti, so I used to do something, right? Kamunata is there. Kamunata jota ki इच्छा भी गोटे टाइप कामना से दैट वे कामनाटा बेसिकली इट्स अ ब्रॉड सब्जेक्ट एनीथिंग यू आर wishing to have and attracted to can't stop thinking about are generally termed as kamana. ज्ञान है जो बुझी आज्ञा अच्छा विशेष बेरा कहते मोर गोटे क्वेश्चन है आज आम माने ठाकुर पाखर नित्य लोक आसिक पूजा करूँ ना ये ठाकुर को जानिक आम से ଭଲ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ବଢିଆ ବଢିଆ ଠାକୁର ନିଜେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ନିତ୍ୟ ଲୋକର ନିତ୍ୟ ପୁରୁଷ ତମେ ମୋର ନିତ୍ୟ ସଙ୍ଗୀ ପାର୍ଶ୍ୱଦ ବୋଲି କହିଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ସେଇ ନିତ୍ୟ ଲୋକରେ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ କାମ ଦରକାର ପଡୁଛି ବୋଲି ଆମେ ଏଠି ଆସିଛୁ। ଏଠି ତାଙ୍କର ସେ ଯୋଉ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ କାମ ପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ ପଠେଇଛନ୍ତି ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ କାମଟା ସରିଯିବ ଆମେ ଫେରେ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଫେରିଯିବୁ। ତାପରେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ଟା ହେଲା ଆପଣ ତାପରେ ଯୋଉ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ କହିଲେ ଯେ ତାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ଆମେ ଏଠିକି ଆସିଛେ ତାଙ୍କ କଥା ଚିନ୍ତା କରି ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯିବା ନାଇଁ ସେ ତାର ହଉଛି କ'ଣ ନା ଆମେ ସେ ଆମକୁ ଆଣିଛନ୍ତି ଏ ଜଗତରେ କ'ଣ ଗୋଟେ କାମ ଅଛି। ଆମେ ଆସିକି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ସେଟା ଭୁଲିଗଲେ କ'ଣ କୋଉ କାମ ପାଇଁ ସେ ଆଣିଛନ୍ତି ଆମେ ସେ କଥାଟା ଭୁଲିଗଲେ। ଭୁଲି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗଲେ ଆମେ କ'ଣ କରିବା କିଛି ତ ଗୋଟେ କରିବା। ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ଆଡୁ ସାଡୁ କାମ ସବୁ କରୁଛେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ କାମନା ବାସନା ଆଣିକି ନିଜ ଦେହରେ ପୁରେଇ ଦଉଛେ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ସିଏ ବାସନା ଗୁଡାକ ଆମ ଦେହରେ ପୁରେଇ ଦଉଛେ ଏଇଟା ଆମର ପ୍ରତିଭାଙ୍କର ଆଲୋଚନାରୁ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ନିଜ ମନକୁ କହୁଛି ତା ଦେହରେ କ'ଣ ହଉଛି ନା ଭାଇ ଆମର ଇଏ ବାହାରକୁ ଚାଲିଯାଉଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ରୁ କିନ୍ତୁ ଇଟ୍ସ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଭେରି ରିଲେଟେଡ୍। ଆମେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖରୁ ଗୋଟେ କାମ ନେଇକି ଆସିଛେ ସେ କାମଟା କ'ଣ ଭୁଲିଗଲେ ସେ କାମଟା ନ କରିକି ସେ କାମଟା ହେଲା ତାଙ୍କର କାମ ଭାବୁଥାନ୍ତି ରାଇଟ୍ ତାଙ୍କରି କାମ କରିବାକୁ ଆସିছে ସେ କାମଟା ଭୁଲିଗଲେ ଅନ୍ୟ କାମ ଲାଗିଗଲେ ଘର ଦରକାର ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଦରକାର ପିଲା ଦରକାର ଅମୁକ ଦରକାର ସମୁକ ଦରକାର ଗାଡ଼ି ଦରକାର ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ତା ଦେହରେ ମାତିଗଲେ ତା ଦେହରୁ କେତେ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ଜିନିଷ ମିଳିଯାଏ। ଯିଏ ନ ମିଳିଲା ତା ପାଇଁ ଫେରେ ଆଉ ଥରେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେବାକୁ ପଡ଼େ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଇପାରେ ଫେରେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେଇଗଲେ ଫେରେ ସେ ଆସିছে ସେଇ କାମ ନେଇକି ତାଙ୍କରି କାମ କରିବା ତାଙ୍କ କାମ ନ କରିକି ସେଇ କାମରେ ମାତିଗଲେ ତା ଦେହରୁ କିଛି ମିଳିଲା ଆଉ ଯାହା ସ୍ପେସିଆଲି ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଟିକେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ପଶିଯାଆନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଯାହା ଚାହାନ୍ତି ନା ପାଇବା ପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଗତ ଜିନିଷ ସେଟା ଜମା ମିଳେ କାହିଁକି ନା ସେ ଅଲରେଡ଼ି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କାମ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କରିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେ ହେଲା। ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କାମ ଯେମିତି କରିଦେବେ ପୁରା ଯଦି 100% ତାଙ୍କ କାମ କରିଦେବେ ସେ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯିବେ ତାଙ୍କ କାମ ସରିଗଲା। ଯେତେବେଳେ ନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେ ଆଡ଼େ କାମରେ ମାତି ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ କାମନା ବାସନା ଗୁଡ଼ା କରିବେ ସେଟା କିଛି ମିଳିବନି। ମୋର ପଇସା ଦରକାର ଅମୁକ ଦରକାର ସମୁଦ୍ରରେ କିଛି ମିଳିବନି କାହିଁକି ନା ଇଏ ଜନ୍ମଟା ଆମେ ଆଣିଛେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୋଟିଏ ଜିନିଷ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କ କାମ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କ କାମ ନ କରିକି ଅଯଥା କାମରେ ଯଦି ମାତିକି ଗଲେ ତା ଦେହରୁ ଆଉ ଥରେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେଇକି ସେଗୁଡ଼ାକୁ ଭୋଗିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ମୂଳ କଥାଟା ମନେ ରଖିଥାନ୍ତୁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ସବୁବେଳେ ମନେ ରହିବା ଦରକାର ଆମେ ରହୁନି ମନେ ଆମର ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ଇମ୍ପ୍ୟୁରିଟି ଯୋଗୁଁ ଯେ ଆମେ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଥିଲେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ କାମ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ ନେଇକି ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ସେ କାମ ସରିଗଲେ ଫେରେ ଆମେ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ପଳେଇବା। ଏ ଯେଉଁ ବାକି ବାଜେ କାମ କରୁଛେ ସେଗୁଡ଼ା ଯେଉଁଦିନ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେବା ତାଙ୍କ କାମ ହିଁ ଦିଶିବ ଆଉ କିଛି ଦିଶିବନି ସେ କାମ ସରିଯିବ ସେ ଆମେ ପାଖକୁ ପଳେଇବା ଆଉ କିଛି।
ସେଇଟା ହିଁ ମୋର ସେକେଣ୍ଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଥିଲା ଯେ ଆମେ ସେଇଠୁ ଆସିଛୁ ଆମେ ସବୁ କେମିତି ଭୁଲିକି ଏଥିରେ ମାୟାରେ କେମିତି ଏପଟ ସେପଟ କାମ ସବୁ କରୁ
କାହିଁକି ଭୁଲି ଏଇଆ ତ କାହିଁକି ଯଦି ସେ କ'ଣ କି ନା କଥା ହେଉଛି ଆପଣ ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ ଡ୍ରାମା କରିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ଡ୍ରାମା ପାଇଁ ସବୁ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପାର୍ଟ ଦିଆହେଲା ଗୋଟେ ଅତି ବଡ଼ ଧନୀ ଲୋକଟିଏ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଗରିବ ପିଲାର ପାର୍ଟ କଲା ସିଏ ସେ ପାର୍ଟଟା ଯଦି ସେ କ୍ୟାରେକ୍ଟର ଭିତରେ ପୁରା ପଶିଯିବ ତାହେଲେ ସିନା ସେ ପାର୍ଟଟାକୁ ଭଲକି କରିପାରିବ। ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଆମର ଭଲ ମୁଭି ଆକ୍ଟର ମାନେ ବର୍ଷ ଦୁଇ ବର୍ଷ ଥରେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ମୁଭି କରନ୍ତି ଯେଉଁ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆକ୍ଟିଂ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହାନ୍ତି ସେଇମାନଙ୍କ ଇଏରେ ଯାଇକି ରହନ୍ତି they try to feel it, they try to see what is going on, so that ତା ଭିତରେ ପଶିଯିବ। ତେଣୁ ଆମେ କ'ଣ କରୁଛେ ଯଦି ଭିତରେ ନ ପଶିବା ତାହେଲେ ଆକ୍ଟିଂଟା ଏତେ ଭଲ ହେଇପାରିବ ଆକ୍ଟିଂ କରିବାକୁ ଆସିଛେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆକ୍ଟିଂ ଭିତରେ ଏତେ ପଶିଯାଇଛେ ଯେ ଆମେ କିଏ କୋଉଠୁ ଆସିଛେ ସେଟା ମାନେ ମାନେ ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ରାତି ଡ୍ରାମା କଲେ ତାପରେ ଯେମିତି ସରିଗଲା ହୁଇସିଲ୍ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ହୁଇସିଲ୍ଟା ବାଜିଗଲା ଆପଣ ଗଲେ ଯେ ମୁହଁ କ'ଣ ଧୋଇ ଯାଇ ପକେଇଲେ ସେଠୁ ମନେ ପଡ଼ିଗଲା ଆପଣ କିଏ ସେଠୁ ଘରକୁ ଗଲେ ଆମର ବି ସେଇ କଥା किंतु से ड्रामा भीतर पशि जाए पूरा भूली जाए आम किए आम से पाखे जावा से कथा भूलिगल कहीं भूलिले ना भल कि आक्टिंग करने से क्यारेक्टर भीतर पशि जावा आम क्यारेक्टर भीतर पशि जाए क्यारेक्टर बाहर केमी बाहर ना तार जीटा धरिक ठाकुर आमर गुरु ठाकुर सी आमको बाट देखीदेवे जो लगी मुहर पेंटिंग छड़ेदे छड़ेदे आम जाना आम ये नुआ किए मोर जो आवरण गुड़ा सब अच्छी ऑल दीज थिंग्स एंगल्फिंग अस स्लोली स्लोली दे गो डाउन देन योर आत्मा जो रहीगला दैट इज रिमेनिंग सो वी नो वी आर देयर वी केम फ्रॉम देयर वी गो देयर सेटा हवा पर्यंत आम टिके धैर्य सहित काम कर अन्य काम न काम करदेले धीरे धीरे से ये गुड़ा खसी आस जो लगी खोलता खोलता ड्रेस पिंधे मुंडे मुहर लगे ये सब पेंटिंग सब करके विभिन्न प्रकार ये करके
भाई गोटे कथा जो ब्रह्म कहूले ता संगे ये रिलेटेड केमती
से तो रिलेशन ब्रह्म एका थे माने फुल राइट ये जो बहु हवा चेष्टा इच्छा करेंगे स्टेज फुल ऑफ एनर्जी दैट्स द सेम थिंग देयर इज नो मल्टीपल थिंग सो यू वांट टू बी मल्टीपल देन यू नीड सम काइंड ऑफ व्हाट यू कॉल इट कंपनी तो आइडेंटिफाई करियो जे ये लोकटा आर लोकटा ये लोकटा पास से जो आइडेंटिफिकेशन और अहम भावटा अहंकार तत्व जो आरंभ हो गला तो दिस पर्सन इज दिस दिस पर्सन इज दैट खाली सेपरेट हेनी पूर्व आग क्रिएट करेंगे गुण सत्तर तम तीन टा गुण भी कम अधिकार होगा सत कमिगला सत अधिकार होगा रज कमिगला विभिन्न प्रकार गुण परिदर्शित नॉर्मल तीन प्रकार कराई गुण गुड़िक रहा सागर आमर निजर गोटे आइडेंटिटी रहीगला ताकू जो धरिक घुरा घुरी कले से अलग अलग राइट केमती एका हवा ना जिते से गुण गुड़ाक नष्ट हो से अहंकार नष्ट हो आम जाना आम से लोक तो किसी जो भी अच्छी धारणा टाइम हो गले तो आर्यन अच्छे प्रार्थना सहित आर्यन
जय कृष्ण जन्म जन्म धारी तुम्हें मोर तुम्हारी तुम्हें मो जीवन मारो तुम्हें मो जीवन मारो नव निरोधा करुणा जले फुटा कुमुद तुम करुणा जले फुटा कुमुद आसिले से अमराती पासुरी न देव साथी आसिले से अमराती पासुरी न देव साथी मोसा भरोसा का मोसा भरोसा का तुम्हारी पदा तुम करुणा जरे फुटा कुमुद तुम करुणा जरे फुटा कुमुद आकाश तुम्हें मन आकाश पुण्य चंद तुम करुणा जले फुटा कुमुद तुम करुणा जले फुटा कुमुद।
Jai young aspirants, this is Bhakti. I will start off by taking attendance, and then after that, Aryan, you can explain the meaning of the song. Aditi?
Meaning of the song is part of that.
Jai, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Adya sir? Jai. Anshu?
Jai Guru.
Jai. Anhik?
Jai Guru.
Jai. Ansh?
Jai Guru.
Jai. Anshu?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Jai. Arnav?
Jai Guru.
Jai. Aram?
Aren't I here?
Okay. Arush?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Aryan? Jai Guru. Jama? Jai Guru. Prakash?
Jai Guru.
Devangi? Divyam?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Divyans?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Eva?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jagrat? Jai Guru. Naitik?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Pratisha?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Pratish?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Saraswat? Okay. Jai Guru Saraswat. Sartat? Okay. Bobby?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Shruti? Jai Shreya?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Shreyasi?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jimmy?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Siddharth? Simran?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Shuja?
Jai Guru Ma.
Jai Guru. Suhani?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Yukta? Jai Guru. So now that we are done with the attendance, first let's go over the meaning of the song Aryan just sang. Aryan, do you want to explain the meaning of the song?
Jai. The meaning of the song is that basically Thakur is a full moon in our lives and we are blossoms at his feet, and that he'll be there for us all the time, even through the good and the bad, and he's like the only or the biggest thing in our lives. Jai Guru.
Yeah, that was well explained. So now let's move on to the main part of the program today. So today we will be continuing our discussion about the 8 limbs of yoga. So a couple months back we started covering some of these. So in this form of yoga, yoga has 8 components. These are yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So this is known in Sanskrit as Ashtanga yoga, which means 8 parts or limbs. And these were put together by Patanjali, who was a sage, and he wrote these in the Yoga Sutras. And so in previous sessions, we've gone over the yamas and niyamas, which are the first 2 limbs. And I just wanted to refresh these quickly. So there are 5 yamas, which are ahimsa, which is non-violence, satya, which is telling the truth, asteya, which is non-stealing, brahmacharya, and aparigraha, which is non-possessiveness. And then for the second limb of yoga, which are the niyamas, we covered socha, which is cleanliness, santosha, contentment, tapasya, which is also known as penance, swadhyaya, which means self-study, and the last one was ishvara pranidhana, which is meditating on God. So the steps in the 8 limbs of yoga kind of form a sequence that builds off of the progress made in the previous steps. So these are all very interconnected. And so first in the yamas, we talked about things that affect our behavior in our regular daily lives. And then we talked about the niyamas, which are ways that help ourselves practice self-discipline. And so today we'll be covering the 3rd and 4th limbs of yoga. And so the 3rd limb of Ashtanga yoga is asana, which refers to physical poses. So for this topic, I want to ask Gemma to give a quick introduction on asanas. Gemma, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So as Prakriti said, asana is part of Ashtanga, the 8 limbs of yoga, which is described in the Yoga Sutras written by Patanjali. Asana is the body posture and the general word used for the sitting meditation pose. The Yoga Sutras mentions the ability to sit for extended periods of time while also staying relaxed, steady, comfortable, and motionless. It is usually perfected over time. Any posture that causes pain or restlessness is not the proper yogic posture. One requirement for sitting meditation is to keep the chest, neck, and head erect, the proper spinal posture. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika, a classic 15th century Sanskrit manual on Hatha Yoga written by Padmarama, mentions 84 asanas taught by Shiva. It stated 4 of the following as the most important: Siddhasana, accomplished; Padmasana, lotus; Simhasana, lion; and Padrasana, glorious. It also describes the technique of the 4 and 11 other asanas. Asanas were claimed to provide both spiritual and physical benefits as well. In conclusion, asana is a meditation posture that should be steady and comfortable. Jai.
That was a great explanation and introduction of what asanas are. And like asanas basically translates to the sitting posture. And so like Gemma said, it should be something that is steady and comfortable. And asanas are important because they help prepare the body for like meditation in the later steps of Ashtanga yoga. And what is really important about asana is that it should be something that can be held with comfort and something that you can be motionless in. So I can read a short excerpt from Yogi Guru, which is a book written by Jyotirthakara. Asana, sitting posture, the third component of yoga. To sit steady and comfortably without any movement and pain in body and anxiety in mind is called asana. There are numerous types of asana in yoga scripture. Out of those, some principal asanas and methods of practicing those are described in Sadhanakalpa. The practice of asana enables one to resist all sorts of opposition and duality. That means the conflict of pair of opposites of winter and summer, likes and dislikes, hunger, thirst, etc. does not impede the success in yoga. After thorough practice of asana, the fourth but serious important part of yoga, pranayama, has to be performed. So, like Gemma described, there's many different asanas that you can perform, and all of these have names, and they're usually based on the actual appearance of the pose, and they're in Sanskrit. So like some examples are like she said, we're Padmasana, which forms like a lotus shape, Virasana, which is the hero pose, something called Trikonasana, which forms a triangle. Typically, like when we sit crisscross on the ground, it's known as Sukhasana. So I have a few discussion questions I wanted to ask any of you. So I'll first start off by asking Adyasa. Have you ever like tried any asanas before? And if you have, like, do you have any favorite ones? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just move on then. Bathroom. Okay. Yeah, I'll just ask them. Aryan, have you ever tried any asanas before?
I haven't tried any so far.
Okay. So when you sit down and do prayer, how do you sit down?
I sit down with my back straight. I try to keep good posture.
And are your legs crossed, or are they like outstretched, or how are they?
They're crisscrossed all the time.
Crisscross. So that's typically the asana for that is called Sukhasana. So technically, like, you're already sitting in an asana without like knowing the actual name.
Okay. Thank you.
That's pretty cool. Another like really popular set of asanas some of you may have heard is known as Surya Namaskar, which is like a series of like asanas done in a sequence that basically means sun salutation. So I know like a lot of yoga classes that I've heard about in this country, they like that's a common thing that's known. Another question I had was for Eva is like, have you tried any asanas before? And if so, like, we can talk about that.
Jai Guru, I've done the sun salutation asana or in my yoga class.
That's pretty cool, yeah. And can you think of any benefits of practicing different asanas?
One benefit is definitely being able to like calm your mind and be at peace.
How so? How would that work?
Well, when you do the asana, you're not really thinking of anything, and you just like move your body, or you just stay still. And
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point because when you're doing an asana, you're probably concentrating on holding the posture, and so you're not really thinking about like other things. So it's probably like something to relax yourself with. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I want to ask Anshul, are you here?
Very good.
So can you think of any other benefits to practicing different asanas?
Did someone mention that it could help your breathing?
That's true. Yeah, how would it help your breathing?
This is just speculation, but I think that if your back is straight, then it promotes more better breathing.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Also, like when your back is straight, it really helps with like your spine health and posture because then it doesn't cause your back a lot of stress if you're sitting up straight in a good posture. So that's a good point that you made. Some other benefits that I was thinking of was like having like more complicated asanas can help improve like your flexibility and muscle strength, and maybe like to do asanas, to do it properly, someone may have to eat healthy food so that they have the energy to hold different asanas and sit properly in them without any pain. So this was just like a quick intro to asanas, and let's move on to the fourth limb of Ashtanga Yoga, which is pranayama. This refers to regulation of breath. And so for this, sorry, is something happening? Okay, Jaira?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So, what is like the point of having different asanas when you can just do the same thing sitting straight up and crisscross Sukhasana? Jaira.
I think it's important, like different asanas, like use different parts of the body. So like some asanas really involve like your hands in different positions, and some are focused on like moving your back in certain ways. And they also stretch out different parts. So I know like in Surya Namaskar there's a position called downward dog, which is what it looks like, and that really targets like different areas and makes you like focus on different things. At least that's how I interpreted it. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that was a great question. Also, does anyone have any other questions or comments that they want to share? Okay, sounds good. So we can move on to the fourth limb of yoga, which is pranayama, which refers to like regulation of breath. So for this topic, I want to ask Bobby to give a good introduction. So Bobby, whenever you're ready.
So pranayama is one of the 8 limbs of yoga, as Bhakti was saying. And so pranayama is the changing of the natural process of breathing into a controlled process according to the rules as prescribed for various types of breathing control. So pranayama in Sanskrit means restraint of prana or breath. And the goal of pranayama is to connect the body and mind. And so prana means life force or vital energy, which particularly means the breath, and ayama means to suspend or restrain. Pranayama contains 3 acts of breathing control. First one is puraka, which is breathing the outside air in and filling the lungs. The second one is called kumbhaka, which is holding the air in like a water-filled jug. And the third one is Rechaka, which is breathing the air out of the lungs till it empties. So there's a process that devotees follow in order to practice pranayama, and the process has various patterns of breathing in and out and chanting Om or their initiated or Ista mantra. For example, one sequence is like 16, 64, and 32. And if it needs to be reduced, it's 8, 32, 16, or 4, 16, and 8. So the numbers in the sequences represent how many times you chant Om or your Ista mantra. And there's different steps you have to do, like covering one side of your nose or the other. And so if someone is successful in pranayama, his cover of illusion disappears, and his divine knowledge becomes apparent. The pranayama practitioner becomes free of all diseases, but if the practitioner practices pranayama wrongly, it can produce various breathing-related diseases. And other benefits that are not spiritual there's a lot of scientific benefits to pranayama, which are decreasing stress, which like calming the mind, and it improves sleep quality. It increases mindfulness, it reduces high blood pressure, and it can improve lung function, and it enhances cognitive performance, which makes you more attentive. So pranayama allows us to focus on our breathing, and it draws our attention to the present moment and can increase feelings of inner peace and stillness. Pranayama sets the stage for the concentration required for meditation and is a great tool for reflection and prayer. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru, that was a fantastic explanation of pranayama. Like you said, this is also covered in Yogi Guru in detail, with the Puraka, Kumukha, and Rechaka. So pranayama involves breathing in, holding the breath, and breathing out. So there's different techniques. So some of them are more calming, some are more stimulating. And like Bobby said, there's many different benefits. So I had
Does it look like Bhakti is online? Line disconnect చేయగల
I learned about Vilam Pranayama, which was breathing through different nostrils in alternate patterns. And then I remember learning something where I really have to breathe out heavily. So there's different types, and definitely if you're interested, you can ask your parents or look things up online. So you're doing it carefully. Sophie, I have a question for you. What do you think are some benefits of doing different pranayamas?
I think different benefits are that it helps you become calmer and be more focused rather than being erratic. So it helps you find peace.
Yeah, that's true. So how do you think asana and pranayama are connected? Do you think there's a relationship between the two, or?
I think they both help you become more calm.
That's true, because when you sit in asana, you have to breathe properly so that oxygen can go to all parts of your body in a healthy way. So they're pretty interconnected. So this kind of shows how following these steps in Ashtanga yoga, they all kind of build up on each other, because once you can maintain a good posture or like good asana, then you can focus on how you're breathing in it. And I have a question for Adyata. Are you here? Yes. Okay. So, can you think of how asana and pranayama can be connected to any of the yamas or niyamas we learned a while back? Like, do you think any of those can help you do pranayama or asana?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
No problem. Have you done any pranayamas before in the past, or have you had any experience learning about them?
I'm not sure.
No problem. Bobby, can you think of how, like, practicing any yamas or niyamas can help you with either asana or pranayama?
I think, wait, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, I was asking, like, how it might help to practice, how it might help practicing some yamas and niyamas in doing different pranayamas or asanas.
Jaggi, so I think asana and pranayama can help with like non-violence. So if you like practice asana and pranayama, calms the mind down, so you aren't very like violent in certain situations.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good point. Also, like, and that's true. Another thing I was thinking of is like Socha and Santosha. If your body and mind is clean and you're content with what is around you, then you're more likely to be able to concentrate and hold different asanas and do the different breathing techniques too. So yeah, that was a good answer. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Jamu, can you think of any other different benefits to doing pranayama?
So, maybe it could help you just stay calm and focus on whatever you're doing.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah, that makes sense. Naitik? Have you done any? Yeah.
I set my back straight and my legs crisscrossed. And I've also done like some breathing exercises.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you feel when you do that? Like, do you find it difficult, or do you just find that it's pretty easy to do?
I find it calming, kind of, since it like gets rid of stress from my body.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If no one else, does anyone else have anything that they want to share? Any comments they have about asana or pranayama or anything in general about what we've learned so far about yoga?
Jai Guru, this is Pratyush. Could you explain again what is pranayama?
Prana? Yeah. Okay. Prana basically means breath in Sanskrit. So it also, since it means breath, it also can refer to like energy or life force. So because we are living because we're breathing, right? So basically, like when you control how that's being done, that's how it refers. Like prana means like the breath or life force, and then ayama means like stretching it or restraining it or extending it. So combining those two words together basically means regulating your breath. So this involves like doing different types of breathing, and there's 3 parts to breathing. So first is inhaling, then holding your breath inside of you in your lungs, and then exhaling it. So that's part of it. And then when you do different pranayamas, there's different patterns of breathing, and maybe you can cover your nostril. Like sometimes it involves covering your nostrils in different patterns, or really using your diaphragm or stomach, so that you're doing like a deep breath in or a deep breath out. So it's really varied. Does that explain your question?
Yes.
Okay, great. So it looks like we're almost at time. I was also thinking it would be a good idea to cover asana and pranayama today because, like with the COVID-19 pandemic, which does affect the respiratory system, practicing can be helpful in strengthening our lungs and also managing our stress maybe, and to be happy and healthy. So I'll end the live session here right now and move on to Paribrajakacharya. So I also have Paribrajakacharya today. So today I have Pari and Paribrajakacharya Deva. So I think this is the second time in this year I've had Pari by the grace of Sri Thakur. And I think in my first Pari this year was in January, so I was thinking about all the different New Year's resolutions and how this was a new decade starting and how it do so many different things. And this is a very important year, and this is a year to test our faith and our acceptance to Thakur's will and our action, reaction, and response when we're faced with adverse conditions and unexpected conditions. So I know that success is always us, and whatever's happening has like some sort of inner cause, and Sri maybe wants to convey something to us or wants us to do something different. So this year is very important for me, and I'm trying to participate in different devas outside of in Sangha Puja, and I also seek Sri blessings to do his deva. And I will end my Paribrajakacharya with a short prayer. Vancha kalpa taru karuna sagara pase pase tame acha dukha bikodare hata dhari acha mamatha unsi decha bhakti viswasa nirbharta diya shripade karuchi ori krutajnata bhara pranati dharuchi kare gheni puspanjali. Jai.
Jai Guru. आज मोर संघ पूजा पाली आउे भाव विनिमय मोर सेवा अच्छी जो भाव विनिमय हो सब मो गोटे बड़ कष्टकर जिनसा जोटा कि मत बाकी सब जिन ठीक अच्छे कि कहला बेलू मुझे जानीपारे कौन कहि केमती माने कारण भाव जोटा जिनसा भावटा आसो जी आप ठाकुर विषय पढ़ुंट बही कि तो मुझे बही पढ़ी किसी पारि तो मुझे पढ़ी पारे मत सब शुणापी बेसी भल लगे माने बेसी पढ़िया अपेक्षा जमी पाठचक्र आम हुए ज्ञान भी आसिकी जो आम डिस्कसन जो करूँ से मत बहुत भल लगे भी मत सब एमती कि कहूँ शुणापी बेसी भल लगे सब जिनस ठाकुर तो केमती माँ मान भी बहुत भल पाते से माँ मान प्रति भाई मान तो भाई मान अपेक्षा माँ मान सफ्ट हार्ट चखुले ठाकुर जो ठाकुर महाराज आदेश उपदेश कथा सब तो मन को छुई थाए सब शुणा भी भल लगे आज सेमती बहुत बहुत कथा सब पढ़ागला जो थे बेसिकली ज्ञान भाई जो कहले कि आम कौन ठीक कौट थे केमती आसिले कौन आसी ठाकुर कम करने पुणी कम सर केमती आम पाखक जावा तो ये कथा बहुत मन को भी छुईला आउ बहुत जिन संशय जोटा मो मन जो प्रश्न सब उठीला से भी किसी मात्रा मुझे दूर कर पारि ठाकुर को सब आम मान सब मैंने सब ठाकुर कहती मत टे भल पा मो पर विश्वास रख मुझी ये विश्वास तुम सब थाऊ तुमर किसी भी क्षति हम ना सब मो पर लक्ष्य रखी मुझे ये सब जिनस निज जीवन में उपलब्धि कर ठाकुर कृपा और ठाकुर विश्वास ये दुटा विषय भी मानने भाव अनुभव कर ठाकुर कृपा अर्थ यह नुह जीवन के आमको दुख आसबनी कि आम के दुखी हवा नहीं यहाँ तो हो पारन से जीवन जेहतु मनुष्य जीवन रखी से दुख सुख सब चली दुख पर सुख सुख पर दुख जोटा कि आम जानी सब अप एंड डाउन से समस्त आसे समस्त आम जाचे किंतु मनुष्य जीवन सब चली कि समय दुखी न हो ठाकुर विश्वास रखी सब समय केत समय पलैव सेटा आम जापारे जोटा को आम गुरु कृपा भी आम कहीपर से ठाकुर कृपा माने आम दुख समय को धरिक रहा कथा ही भाविबा ही चिंता करवा सब किसी जनईदेवा आ बाकी सब भूली जावा तो से जो समयटा जो थी केत समय आपे आपे पलैजा सेटा भी आम जापारे जोटा कि आम ठाकुर कृपा से आम कहीपर ठाकुर विश्वास जोटा एति रखी ठाकुर विश्वास एमती रखीदे जो कमटा मानकर आम सब ठाकुर मत माने जो मोर भल आम जो मनीष आम कि जानी आम कौन करुचे जोटा कि करूँ ठीक कि ना तो सब लगे कि ठाकुर जड़े कथा कि मुझे सेमती करे कि ठाकुर मुझे जहाँ करुचे जदि माने आप ठीक बोली भाव से जिनसा हो ना न हो से भाया तो मुझे सब जड़े कि करे तो जहाँ भी जिनसटा मैंने लगे कि मुझे कली यहाँ है तो से मन आसा कथा ठाकुर इच्छा ना से कामटा है ना जिते बड़े कम आम इच्छा करके जो जिनसा होम करें तो सहीटा भाविया कथा जे ठाकुर ही कृपा थिला यहाँ विश्वास थिला कृपा जो आम कमटा हो पारा तो सब जिन ठाकुर छाड़ीगले से जिनसा सब जिन से ही बुझे से ही करेंगे तो ये जमी कोरोना पेजटा चली बहुत लोक घर भी बहुत असुविधार लोक अच्छा जो सब सब धरीचे तो आम कि आमर एति भाविया कथा ठाकुर आम एति आम कृपा दृष्टि रखी आम यही समय भी एकाठी रविवार दिन आज आम संघ पूजा जोग दौचे ठाकुर विषय शुणुचे ठाकुर विषय अनुभव करुचे प्रति मुहूर्त घर रही ठाकुर प्रति आहरी टे पाखक आसी पारे जोटा कि बहुत लोगों पाखे ये जिन सुविधा हो पारे से परिवार बहुत किसी विशृंखला चलती कोरोना को लेकिन ठाकुर पाखे प्रार्थना जे सब जिन जल्दी ठीक हो जाऊ आउ भी निश्चित भाव ठाकुर किसी ही इच्छा अच्छी माने जदि कर निहाती यार भी पार करदे सब जिन को ठीक करदे पारे किंतु मिलित भाव प्रार्थना कराया कथा ठाकुर केमती जिन आमको उद्धार करतु जल्दी सब जिन सब ठीक हो जाओ आ सब कृपा विश्वास लक्ष्य सब समस्त रहू ये कही रही जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। आज मोर प्रथम पारी मतलब से बर्षा हो जाता आज बहुत दिन पर ठाकुर के प्रार्थना मोर सबदिन एमती पारी कर केवे शेष पारी न हो रखुच जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। आज संघ पूजा अधिवेशन शेष होगा जाऊँगी यहाँ ठाकुर को मध्याह्न भोग अर्पण हम मध्याह्न भोग श्री ठाकुर को निमंत्रण कर संध्या पूजा आश्रम मंदिर श्री ठाकुर को ठाकुर महाराज को कर जय गुरु।
Jai Guru. I invite Sri Thakur, all the Bhais, Mas, young aspirants, and other members of the Sangha to our next puja to be held on July 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Please join the puja and make it a success. Jai Guru.
ठाकुर महाराज भक्त भाई माँ यंग एस्पिरेंट्स आसंता रविवार दिन बबीर आ मोर संघ पूजा पारी अच्छी ठाकुर आपण को समस्त भाई माँ एवं पिला निमंत्रण दूसरी आपने समस्त पूजा योगदान करी आमको ठाकुर मुतवाणी शुणी कृतार्थ करेंगे पूजा को सब सम्मानित करेंगे आमको सेवा सुजोग देवे।
जय गुरु परमादास ठाकुर महाराज आज मोर भक्तिमां आउ विश्वजीत भाई पाली थी आज पूजा होता समस्त जनात अजाणत भूल त्रुटि तथा आज सेवार थी समस्त भाई माँ जनात अजाणत जहाँ किसी भूल त्रुटि कर ठाकुर महाराज भक्त भाई माँ पिला निकट क्षमा प्रार्थना करुच्ची। जय गुरु।
दीनो नाथो करे श्री चरणी दीनो नाथो करे श्री चरणी तब कथा रखी मनने मरणी देव तब कथा रखी मनने मरणी बाहरे की करी सोचना बाहरी की हेलाना करी सोचना करीबी प्रथमे निज स्वभाव मार्जना देव करीबी प्रथमे निज स्वभाव परत तो खोजी बोली न थाइब मन परत तो खोजी बोली न थाइब मन लागिथिबी सदा करी आत्म संशोधन देव लागिथिबी सदा करी आत्म संशोधन वचने आलापे रसना संयत वचने आलापे रसना संयत गुंपी जाऊ अवसाद देहर जड़त देव गुंपी जाऊ अवसाद देहर जड़त उचित भाव ଶଣେନକୁ କିଛି ଅନ୍ତରାୟ ଉଚିତ ଭାଷଣେନକୁ କିଛି ଅନ୍ତରାୟ ଯଥା କର୍ମ କେଉଚିତ ସୁଧୀର ସହାୟ ଦେବ ଯଥା କର୍ମ କେଉଚିତ ସୁଧୀର ସହାୟ ନିରଳସ ଭାବେ ତବ ଆଦେଶ ପାଳନ ନିରଳସ ଭାବେ ତବ ଆଦେଶ ପାଳନ କରିଯିବି ହେଉ ଦହି ପ୍ରାଣର ସ୍ଫୁରଣ ଦେବ କରିଯିବି ହେଉ ଦହି ପ୍ରାଣର ସ୍ଫୁରଣ ନ ମାନିବି କାହିଁ କେଉଁ କାରଣ ବନ୍ଧନ 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 ରହି ଥାଏ ରହି ଥାଉ ତବ ପଦେ ମନ ଦେବ ରହି ଥାଏ ରହି ଥାଉ ତବ ପଦେ ମନ জয় গুরু 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 জয় গুরু
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়